If you're in the project management world, you've probably heard the buzz around PMBOK 7. Well, today, we're diving deep into its core, the 7 performance domains. And let me tell you, this isn't just some small tweak. It's a fundamental shift in thinking, moving us away from just checking boxes and toward what really matters, delivering valuable outcomes. Let's break it down. All right, here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the big idea behind this new framework. Then we'll walk through each group of domains, the people, the plan, and the execution. And finally, we'll see how it all clicks together into one powerful integrated system. So first things first, let's get a handle on the huge change PMBOK 7 is all about. We're talking about a major move away from that old, rigid, process-driven mindset. The new focus is on being flexible and value-driven, where the outcomes are the star of the show, not just the outputs. So what in the world is a performance domain? Well, you can see the official definition right there. It's a group of related activities essential for project success. But here's the real secret. Don't think of these as a checklist you do once. Think of them as areas you're constantly focused on, like plates you've got to keep spinning throughout the entire project. And this right here is probably the most critical concept of all. These domains don't exist in their own little bubbles. They're all part of one big integrated system. They're completely interdependent. If you make a change in one, you better believe it's going to send ripples across all the others. Keep that idea front and center as we go. So, where do we begin? With the people, of course. These first two domains, stakeholder and team, are the absolute heart of any project. Because let's be honest, you can have the most perfect plan in the world, but if you don't get the people part right, it's just not going to work. The stakeholder domain is all about one thing: relationship management. Your goal is to build genuine, productive connections. That means working to align your supporters, but also proactively engaging with anyone who might have concerns. The whole point is to get everyone moving in the same direction. So how do you actually do that effectively? It's not a one-shot deal. It's a constant cycle. As you can see, you're always identifying, understanding, analyzing, prioritizing, engaging, and then monitoring. Why? Because people's needs and priorities change, and this continuous loop ensures you're never caught flat-footed. All right, next up, your core unit, the project team. This domain goes way beyond just handing out tasks. It's about intentionally creating a culture and an environment where a diverse group of individuals can transform into a truly cohesive, high-performing team. Now, this question on the slide, this really gets to the core of it, and it connects directly to the idea of servant leadership. It challenges you to think beyond just being a manager. Your role is also to be a developer of people, to foster their growth and clear the path so they can do their absolute best work. Okay, we've covered the people, now let's talk about the plan. How do we actually structure the work? These next two domains give us the blueprint for turning a great idea into a tangible reality. This domain is where you make one of the most fundamental choices for your project. How are you going to build this thing? Are you going to plan every single detail out from the start, like an architect? Or are you going to adapt as you go, building in short cycles? That single choice sets the entire rhythm for the project. And here you can see the two ends of that spectrum. On the left, you have predictive, perfect for something like building a bridge, where you need to know everything up front. On the right, you have adaptive, which is built for innovation and uncertainty, like developing a new piece of software. The truth is, most projects today actually use a hybrid approach, blending elements of both. Now let's talk about the planning domain. And it's so important to remember that planning is not a one-and-done phase. It's an ongoing, living process. You're constantly organizing and coordinating all the moving parts, from the schedule and budget to communications and procurement. So when you get planning right, what does it feel like? Your project is organized, you have a big picture view, and maybe most importantly, your plans are strong enough to provide direction but flexible enough to adapt when reality throws you a curveball. Okay, so you've got the right people on board and you've got a solid plan. The big question now is, how do you make sure the work actually gets done effectively? And that leads us perfectly into our next set of domains, which are all about execution. All right, let's get into the doing phase. This is where the rubber meets the road. We're taking all that planning and turning it into tangible progress and real value. Think of the project work domain as the engine room of your project. This is all about managing the flow of work, making sure you have the resources you need, and, this is key, fostering a learning environment where the team is constantly improving how they operate. And all of that work is pointed towards one thing: delivery. This domain is all about making sure we're delivering the scope and quality we promised. It asks the tough questions. Are we meeting our standards? Are we creating real value? This is the direct link between the team's daily efforts and the project's ultimate purpose. The project is humming along. Value is being delivered. But how do we actually know if we're on track? And how do we prepare for all those things we can't predict? That's exactly where our final two domains come into play. These two are like two sides of the same coin. The measurement domain looks at your performance right now, using data to answer, are we on track? The uncertainty domain, on the other hand, looks to the future. It's about proactively exploring everything that could get you off track, both the risks and the opportunities. When you master these domains, you stop just reacting to problems. You're operating with foresight. You have reliable data to make smart decisions, you're anticipating threats before they become full-blown crises, and you're actively searching for opportunities to make the project even better. And there we have it. We've made our way through all 7 domains. Now, let's bring it all home and circle back to that core idea we started with. Remember this? This is the whole ballgame. A great project manager doesn't just work through a checklist, they orchestrate this entire system. They know that if team performance dips, it's going to affect delivery. Poor delivery will show up in the measurements. An unexpected risk can throw the whole plan into chaos. It is all one interconnected system. So I want to leave you with this question to think about. On the project you're working on right now, which of these domains needs your attention the most? Use this framework as a practical diagnostic tool. When you start to see your project as this dynamic, interconnected system, you'll know exactly which levers to pull to tune it for success.